Hello everybody, I'm Andreia De Souza. It's my pleasure to be here at Wheelock College this academic year. So I'm a Black activist in Brazil. I'm also a professor. My field is education and cultural studies, African diaspora and gender studies as well. I collaborate with a very well-known Black organization in Salvador, Bahia called the Steve Biko Institute that has historically working for, Black youth rights and the access to college to Black youth in Brazil, Salvador, Bahia. Yes, my first major was Portuguese literature and language. And then my master's degree was in the field of culture, organization, and education, where I did a study about the Black characters representation in fiction books in Brazil. So this is one of my areas, the Black representation in fiction books. And later I went to work on my PhD on education and cultural studies. And I was more interested in the Black education in Brazil and Latin America, and also how, gender issues and racial issues play an important role in the educational system in Brazil. So as a whole, my areas are cultural studies, African Brazilian studies, Portuguese language and literature, and curriculum and instruction. Yes, so it's such a great honor to be here at Wheelock College, and I am very thankful to Dr. Joyce Hope Scott for inviting me, and also for the whole work and commitment that she has to the African diaspora and Black community, worldwide. So for me to be here is important to share about, Brazilian culture and Latin American culture. In the US, we don't know a lot about Brazil, or what you know is what the mainstream meta-narrative shows about Brazil, which is a racial democracy or racial paradise. And we don't know a lot about, racial discrimination, racial terror, and police brutality against Black youth in Brazil, for example. So here I want to do both things, to share about my culture and also learn about the Black culture and establish comparison. How can we think about a project to be committed, to humanity and to improve the lives of our Black community in the African diaspora? I congratulate Wheelock for, this initiative. I know that Wheelock has done, this kind of study abroad program in African countries, Cabo Verde, Ghana, Benin. And I think Brazil is very important to be part of this project. And I have worked with a study abroad program when I was in the University of Texas. I have worked and helped to build a project of a study abroad program for Dillard University. And I have always been also lecturing at the Steve Biko Institute with the study abroad program for Spelman College and other colleges as well. So I do believe that we have the possibility to give a new approach to the study abroad program through the service learning, which is to learn that Black people lives matter, and to learn that how can we build a strong ties and make our struggle not only local but global, because what we face in Brazil, in Africa, in the Caribbean area, in the whole Latin American against, Black, or the investment in whiteness that we have as a national project in Brazil and the whole Latin America is a struggle for everybody, for Blacks and non-Blacks, for white people who are committed to, a real social justice project. So the service learning, the study abroad program that, we are going to develop in Brazil and probably in Salvador, Bahia, is very important because we're going to bring and give the opportunity for the Wheelock students to learn about, the quilombolas, the Black communities, Black rural communities in Brazil. They will be able to learn about Portuguese language as well, and teach English also to our students. So it's a project in which we are going also to exchange language teaching. Both Brazilians will learn English and North Americans will learn Portuguese. This is awesome because in general we have just one part trying to learn another language, and I think for the African diaspora community it's very important that we learn more about our language, even though it's the language of the colonizer, but it's important to learn the culture, to understand the culture. So I am very excited about this study abroad program, and I am sure it's going to be a historical one. Wow, I see a lot of benefits with this program, because we will have a unique opportunity of having a Pan-Africanist project and perspective, youth people from Brazil and youth people from the US learning about, how is the process of racial formation in both cultures? How can they establish a dialogue and see the similarities and also the difference, and how they can think about alternatives? Because this is what is important. Youth people, they are very creative and they always come up with, new ideas and projects. So I am sure that they will really, from this dialogue, from those exchanges, they will be able to bring new, alternatives, new ways of thinking, and also new ways of struggling against, these racial disparities that is permanent and, in both cultures, in the whole African diaspora. And I also see a benefit from the exchange, between Brazilian and U.S. scholars also. We have with this study abroad, these opportunities as, we have done before in other colleges. And also we have the opportunity of the movement, the Black movement, the human rights organizations also, to be part of this study abroad and to have a voice, to have a place there. And again, we have the opportunity to listen to, those organizations from the US and Brazil and see their struggle, their strategies, and how we can, together work to humanize, Black people's lives. We have a, underrepresentation of Blacks, and when they are represented in the media in Brazil, they are the subservient in the lower position. So I can see a lot of good things, and I can see a healing process, because when we dialogue, when we establish this kind of projects, we can heal from, all the pain that we have been suffering since slavery. So I'm very happy to be part of this project, and I'm looking forward to see everybody in Brazil.